All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Roo TV tonight. Very special episode tonight. It is the 1st of March. We are getting close. So I guess we're close to. Josh, tomorrow's my 41st birthday. I'm an old man now. I'm an
I
old,
was
decrepit
I,
man.
I was gonna ask you when it was. I knew it was really soon. I didn't know it was that soon. But
Yeah, it's kind of like, oh, God, I'm getting worried
well,
about this. All right.
you only have two options to get really old.
Well,
Or
yeah,
uh,
it's one or the other. I guess you could look at it as like I survived. And
exactly.
now that we both survived, it's time to have some fun. I think
Yes, sir.
yeah, might
Yes,
as
sir.
well. Ladies and gentlemen, folks at home watching around the globe tonight, sitting in the chair across from me, my guest for Root TV tonight, one of my favorite people. It is, of course, you may know him as the man behind Rosebear Arts. You might know him as the man behind the upcoming Arts and Music Festival coming this May 21st to Mulligan Hill, New Jersey, called JAWNAROO. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest tonight is the one and the only Josh Weichman. Josh, how the hell are you tonight?
I'm good. Thank you for the high praise and the build up. I don't feel like I'm worth the build up, but thank you. So
You're no problem. You know what's weird? Every time I was racking my brain before we got on the air tonight, and I was thinking every time I talk to you, outside of course, now, I'm always like leaning in, and it's always a struggle. It's always a struggle to hear. This is like the first time we're having a normal human being conversation in the past 7 years. Because for the past 7 years, I've always seen Josh at concerts, Philly, Suicide Machine show, a Rancid show, a Cat Bite show, but wherever it is, there's always sound. There's always loud ass noise in the background. So this
it's
is
it's it's funny you mention that because the past hour I was thinking, oh, we're gonna do the show. Like, what are we gonna talk about? And I was thinking that we only scream at each other, and I have terrible hearing, so I
yeah.
hear like half of what you say probably. So.
Well, yeah, it's getting worse. I went to I'm telling you, this is a true story. It's not a good story, but it's a true story. I went to a Dickies. You remember the Dickies, that old punk band? They did a show at God, where was it? Voltage Lounge, like 2018, I think. And I swear, man, I had what's it called, tetanitis in my ear afterwards. That where your ears ringing like
Yeah,
nonstop for like 2 days. I don't think my hearing's been the same ever since. So, yeah, that's just good. That's just good to hear your voice without a struggle. It's good to hear your voice
yeah,
without a struggle,
yeah.
Josh.
It's usually concert screaming or like in type on social media.
Yeah, absolutely. It's tough. Well, for those of you at home, I mean, uh, Josh is we did go to the same high school together. I think we graduated in 41, I believe it was, right, Josh? Class of
Yeah,
41. Yeah,
exactly.
we are old. Like I said, old and gray at 41. Delsey High School. And
And
I want to get into a little bit of music talk with you. Certain things I want to bring up, certain things I have to bring up. So
okay,
to talk about relating to that. But before we get off on a tangent, I need you off the bat. Now, a lot of people, we do these shows, wait till the end to do your plugs in. I want to, right off the bat, people are tuning in this. I want to talk about JAWNAROO. I also want to talk about Rosebear Arts, of course, but right off the bat, tell us this undertaking that you have started. Has it been a year since you announced this?
I think it's been right around a year.
Unbelievable.
So I got like a sneeze stuck in my face. So
Get it out. Get it out. Get it.
I wish it would just come out, but it's not. Yeah, it's probably been right around a year, maybe a little more. I haven't really kept track. I'm not organized.
Yeah, right.
But it's been quite an undertaking. It's been exciting. It's been it's just a constant growing and shrinking checklist of things to do. Like.
And I've been getting you giving me updates like every so often. I'd see every few months as this thing was growing and progressing. I'm like, I can't believe you're doing it. I can't believe it's happening. And those of you at home, we'll have all the information in the description about how you can get there and everything. But the damn thing is free. It's a free festival. How many
Yes,
free
yes.
arts and music festivals are there in the area? In the Delaware Valley area, I should say. And
Yeah, that was kind of one of my main goals from the beginning. I wasn't sure if we'd be able to do it because it kind of conflicted with some of my other ideas.
Right.
Some things that didn't work out could have been very expensive for us, but we were able to do things and keep it reasonable. And we want to have a free event because we're trying. I mean, we should have over 100 artists there. And numbers going up every day. I think we're in the 70s. And
that's good.
I look at it as an artist. I go to these types of events, and when people sign up and give me a couple dollars for a space, I owe them customers, and I take that pretty serious. So that's where the idea to have all the live music all day to draw people in. I mean, people will come anyway just to see the artists. We got a lot of cool artists, but just to add in that extra incentive, like, oh yeah, we got free music all day. So try to make it a no-brainer for people,
Oh, it is a no-brainer. It's going to be a great time. Count on weather. I mean, if even if it rains, I hope it's not going to rain. I shouldn't be jinxing it right now, but
yeah,
you never know.
I really don't like to talk about that.
Yeah.
But like, I can't worry about it because I can't control the weather,
Right. There's nothing you can do about that. Yeah.
If it rains a little, so be it. It's a rain or shine event. It is what it is. We're still gonna have a good time. If we get a hurricane or something crazy,
yeah,
I'll make it work. We'll make it work on another day. So one way or another.
Yeah, absolutely. And you booked a crap load of good bands. They're all signed up. I think the last one you just announced. Why don't you tell us about some of the music that's showing up on the 21st of May?
Okay. In no particular order, just whoever floats them into my head first. We got this guy, Angelo Outlaw. I haven't met him personally, but he actually reached out to me through social media, and he's from Philly, I believe. And he plays the xylophone and just like really cool, chill vibes. And I like it. I think it's a great addition to the event. Take Today.
Right.
I know the drummer from them, and I like their music, but I just saw them live, and I like them so much more now. They're just, some bands live like really just hit.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Better live than when you listen recorded. Yep.
The same thing with Afloat. They played the same venue. They were awesome live. We got All Systems Go, pop punk band from Jersey. Cuff Knots and Christine Elise. I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right. Cuff Knots, but they're very good. It's very it's like a hip hop act, but Christine plays the harp and sings the hooks. And
yeah, I saw that. I was like, that was really intrigued me when I saw that promo for them.
Yeah, it's so good, and it's like it's a little different than like. I mean, I listen to some rap and stuff, but most of my stuff is like punk rock or ska.
Yeah.
But all the elements we need are there, which just, I mean, it's an art festival. The creativity, they're unique, and when I started, I actually just found them on the internet looking for local bands in the Philly area. I was reading different things, and I found them, and I started sampling them, and they're just talking about peace, love, and unity and stuff. And I mean, that's what punk rock is to me. I mean, I know people have different definitions, but it's like, I know this isn't a punk band, but it belongs in this punk festival. So I reached out, and they were on board. So yeah, I'm glad they're coming. Who did I miss? The Scotch Bonnets. We just added them.
Right. They were just announced. Right.
Yeah, they're a ska band from Baltimore. If you're not familiar with them, I just saw them play in December. They opened for the Slackers. I had not heard of them, but I saw them open for the Slackers, and they were very good. So, and
nice.
Very, very glad they're coming. I'm missing somebody. Who am I missing? How many was that?
I think there was a lot of them. That was about if any, you might have missed one, but I think that was pretty much.
I feel like I missed one. You can talk while I look.
After you better look, because if they're watching this and you don't plug them, that's not going to be good.
I know.
Go through the whole list again once you find it. But no, we're gonna.
Oh,
Definitely.
the I got it.
Yeah.
The Ice Cold Killers.
Okay. Ice Cold Killers. Ice Cold Killers in the house.
That's why I forgot about them, because they're a little different than everything too. They're like our
Mhm.
heaviest act. They're coming down from New York,
Nice.
and they're really good. It's definitely a different vibe than everything else. But I kind of like our music. Kind of jumps around, like from punk to pop punk to
Yeah, it's not just one. It's kind of across the, that varied.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, Josh, how did you initially get into, and we'll talk about Rosebear Arts too, but now that you brought up a few minutes ago about punk rock and what it means to you, how did you initially get into the that music genre itself? Like what drew you in? Did you have an older sibling? Did you have anybody, a friend that got you? Like what drew you into um punk rock in general?
Well, my experience isn't too much different than yours, because I know you talked about it in one of your podcasts before,
Right.
and some of the same players. But my my brother started playing guitar, and then we were listening to Guns N' Roses and Metallica and stuff, and I'd tinker with his guitar and stuff, and like I had zero idea what I was doing with it, and I kind of got the idea like maybe I'll like get a bass guitar and start playing with him, and that was on my mind. But then Andy Hamill and Jason Bates, who I was good friends with them, I lived right down the road from them. They started playing punk rock, and I was always hanging out with them guys, and they needed a bass player, and I was like, I'll get a bass, and then that was it. So I ended up playing bass with them. We had a band called Maya Flower in.
Okay, yeah.
I think we were in 8th grade, and it was such a cool DIY experience. Like I think we sold like 100 cassette tapes with like 5 songs on them.
Oh man, throwback.
Yeah, we were cool kids, and that's about that's when I peaked at my coolness. It all went wrong after that. So.
Well, that was for those of you, first of all, I didn't say this at the top, but we're simulcasting this, and not only is this going to be available on my YouTube channel, I'm also going to be uploading the audio version to Apple, my Dumpster Fire Radio. It's going to be on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. But Josh just brought up another podcast on Dumpster Fire that I had a talk about music with my brother. So just to reiterate a story that I kind of told on that is and Josh just brought up a name that reminded me, and that's Andy Hamill. That's not a very exciting story, but it's interesting. I didn't have an older brother. I didn't have anybody.
I thought you were going to say not an exciting name. He said Andy Hamill. Not a very exciting name.
Also, just he's really the Mark Hamill. It's a different name. But Andy, I'm friends with Andy too. But Andy's more so now, more casual. Back in high school, really weren't close in high school. But I kind of had a gist of that. We had similar tastes in music. And back then in the 90s, and God, what year would that have been?
94-ish,
94, 95. It was like my only access. I had 2 younger brothers, and nobody listened to fucking anything that I was into. My only access was going to the record store and watching, music videos at MTV. And by that time, you weren't seeing underground stuff. You're basically just seeing the only 2 bands I remember seeing that I dug were initially, and everybody knows this who are our age, would be Green Day and Offspring. They broke, and that was the big punk explosion of 94, and Nirvana went along with that and everything. But I'll never forget one day in I brought this up in the podcast, but I love telling it though. In Sharon McCurdy's English class. I don't know why, but Andy Mrs. McCurdy. I like calling our Delsey teachers by their first names. And I like calling Mr. Chappelle Rick Chappelle, and our Mr. or Mr. Demers, Dan Demers,
yes.
Eating bananas and wheat bread and anyway, so I was in Mrs. McCurdy's class, and she was probably doing the word of the day or some verb or some kind of something. So, and then just all of a sudden, Andy just takes my book. And back in the old days, your mom or your son, I couldn't do it. It was probably my mom that wrap your English or math
Yeah.
book in a brown paper bag from ShopRite. So Andy just decided to write a shitload, I don't know, just out of the blue, a shitload of punk rock band names on my book. I'm like, first of all, I'm like, what do you? I at the time I didn't know what the hell he did. There was a Dead Kennedys logo. Okay, he did that. Vandals. I can never forget this. It's Rancid and Sex Pistols, something, you know, the typical suspects, you know, the bands that you would expect. And from that, I'm like, what is this? So I went. So then from there, that kind of like spawned that kind of piqued my interest, because I had already known that I like mainstream punk. So that kind of got me, that got the juices flowing in my head. So what I would do after that is not only would I pick up these sampler albums from the store and cold buy albums. Yeah. One of the ways I would cold buy, this is pre-internet. Internet was around when it was mainstream. You couldn't sample music like you could today. But what I would do was, since I knew that I was into these bands that Andy and fuck else use. Oh shit! You remember Mike Sawyer?
Yes, I remember.
Yeah,
Mike Sawyer.
Yeah, Trashman. Yeah. Everybody. Well, not everybody, but with people from we all had similar tastes. So basically what I would do is I would just, you know, coming on a Monday morning, it was like, oh, Andy and Mike are wearing I don't know, at the time they were getting in the hardcore. I'm like, oh, okay, there's a Strife shirt, all right, Snapcase, all right, you know, whatever. Well, it didn't matter what the band was. Okay, I would cold buy albums from shirts that Andy would wear on you know, to school. I'm like, oh shit. I had no other way. There was no scene for me. I wasn't going to shows. I had nobody in the family. So that was my weird ass story of how I got into it. And then from there, it just snowballed and snowballed and snowballed. And now I'm 41.
That's pretty cool too. And I don't remember like specific examples, but I think like I have a shit memory.
Yeah.
But like I remember being in Andy's room playing video games and stuff, and his brother Josh was a couple of years older.
Right.
And I feel like he was like the one that introduced us to new stuff. Him and Micah Hallenstein. Like,
right. Yeah.
I don't know if they were going to Philly.
I remember he was one of the first human beings I've ever seen with a mohawk.
Yeah.
I remember thinking like, who the hell? What the hell? That was pretty cool. He was one of the, and this is like, oh God, I don't know. Was he in middle high school? I guess wasn't when I was a freshman. He was a few years older than us. So when I was a freshman in high school, but yeah, no, you were bringing up that, and then you know, one of the other influences of getting into the music is definitely the guy sitting right here, Josh Wakeman. For me, anyway. I mean, you were the person who brought a lot of the ska punk into noticeability into the crowd. I mean, so I didn't know about the Suicide Machines before you. I think you let somebody brought their CD in and like circulated. That's how I found out about it.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's
good
to hear.
Yeah, that they are you know, direct. You know, we got to eventually. The goal is to get the Operation Ivy reunion to happen at JAWNAROO in 2 years. How's that?
Yeah. I mean,
maybe
obviously, I would do anything I could to make that happen. Obviously, I don't know anyone that could make that happen. But
what did you think of that? What did you think of they had like a was it one song or two songs? They did like Jesse, Tim, and the Interrupters did like a song a couple weeks ago.
I think they did sound system. And what my favorite part about it was that so many people messaged me about it. It kind of like touched my heart. I was like, oh, people think of Operation Ivy and think about me. Like I felt that was such an accomplishment in life.
That was I thought it was pretty. There was a couple different camera angles, people filming that, and if you saw the one from behind, didn't really capture it, but if you saw a better angle of it, somebody had a view of the crowd. It looked a lot more energized than I don't know. It was pretty rad. I really enjoyed it, even though if it was just a little taste of it at a charity. I think it was a charity event.
Yeah, I think it's bound to happen.
Oh yeah,
eventually. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be announced or if it's just going to be like a surprise thing or whatever. I hope it's not at like, I hope it's not at like a giant festival out west or something.
No.
I don't know. I would hope it would be more like an intimate thing, but I don't even know if that's even possible because it would be such a big deal, you know.
I just for that type of energy, if they want to recreate it, and they don't have to recreate it, it's already there. But if you want to, I feel like it has to be in a small venue. It has to be in a smaller type space. You can't do that at like, I mean, you could, but if you really want that true energy, it would probably have to be in a space like I don't know. I really like this spot I've been going to for the past few shows. It's Underground Arts in Philly. It's a really nice small. It's small enough to be intimate, but it's also big enough where you get a nice bar and space to walk around. So maybe a small venue like that. I hope it happens. So
I haven't been there yet. I hear it's a good spot. I think the chance of us getting to see it is very, very slim to none because
West Coast.
It's going to be West Coast unless they do a big. If they do a tour, then yeah. But I don't think that would happen. I it's going to be one thing that pops up on Facebook one day, just like that one song. Oh,
yeah.
But my wife already knows. I already told her if they do like announce a show and sell tickets, I'm going. I don't care where it is. We're going.
Take the trip. Use
and she's good. And she's good. She said, not without me, you're not. So
well, that's awesome. And that's if that ever happens, that's once in a lifetime thing. It is going to happen. I think the sticking point was getting Jesse and Tim to work together, and you just saw that they're still cool. So it's all good. What do you think about the past few years? Rancid has been doing these big tours with, like, they did Dropkicks, and then they did they do that Fat Mike thing with Drunken Punk and Drublick thing? They may have done one of them.
I'm not sure if they
didn't it? No, they just been doing the Boston to Berkeley ones.
I don't know how many times I've seen Rancid. Probably 6 or 7 times. And I mean, they're always good. They're one of my favorite bands ever. But
I think
the shows with the Dropkick Murphys were like the worst to me.
That was exactly what I was gonna.
It wasn't the music. I mean, the music was cool. It was the crowds. Like there was a bunch of douchebags there. So I guess I don't know if Dropkick brought that crowd in or if it was just because the size of the crowd. But
so there's two things I think with that. I'm all for Lars and Tim and everybody making money. I don't have a problem with that. They're older than us. They need to pay the bills just like we do, and bands make their money through touring. So clearly Rancid's going to make more money with a big Dropkick Murphys tour than just doing a show with a local Philly band. But I just prefer those smaller shows.
I think that they're kind of in a position where that's their moneymaker. They do it to where every once in a while, a big moneymaker, and then they can just chill on the West Coast and do whatever they want. They all have their own side projects, and they can play anywhere out there for more, just to do their art and do what they want.
I was at a I don't know what Dropkick show it was. Maybe it was a Rancid one. I think it might have been. I just remember being outside and I like Dropkicks. I dug them a lot more years ago, but I still a casual fan of them. And I just remember being in the center of that sea right before their set, and I'm looking around and I'm like, there's people in here, and I'm using the word people nicely. I'm being generous. That I can guarantee you, and I hate judging people. I don't like doing that, but they don't give a shit about. They probably have never been to shows. They just want to go to Dropkicks to get drunk and act like an asshole. And it's that's and I think that's kind of probably the bad vibe that was getting. They attract a lot of good people, but they also attract a lot of people who don't go to anything else other than a Dropkick Murphys show to get drunk and sing along to Shipping Up to Boston. That's it.
Yeah. It definitely made me old because I felt like just like a cranky old dude at the concert, which, hey, that's what I am.
I remember you saying that. And,
but it's like, it was just both. The first Dropkick show was worse, but it was like a constant raining of beers, like $12 beers that people were throwing.
Right. That's right. They were throwing beers at the.
It's just maddening to me. I don't know. I don't like that. So.
Nah, I'll pass on that.
I may or may not have yelled at some younger adult, and like I was their father at both. So I may have.
Oh, that's all right. That's you've earned that. You've earned that.
Almost cried. One of them almost cried. I felt bad. But anyway,
you've earned that right. I can't remember if I told this story on the podcast with my brother, but we went to a Green Day show at the old Spectrum, and we were on the floor. This is probably 12, 13, 14 years ago, before they tore it down. And if you're ever at a big concert like that, what happens is, and I haven't been to many, as soon as the big band comes on, there's a rush of fans, and they just start pushing to the front, and you're gonna end up either smushed up against the barricade or somewhere all the way across where you were. You're not gonna end up where you were. But my brothers and I stood our ground, and it was okay for a bit until this. I was probably 28 at the time, 29, 28, until this mid-40s woman decided to get her fingernails and start jabbing me in the back of my knees. I'm thinking to myself, why are you doing why are you doing this? I was like, is this really happening? Is this really happening right now? So I was like, hey, can you stop doing that? Stop doing that, please. I can tell she was drunk. Please stop doing that. So okay, back to the song, When I Come Around, or whatever it is. And then she continued to do it. And now I'm thinking to myself, okay, now I'm getting pissed off. And I'm thinking, I guess she wants me to just leave, and that's her way to just jab me in the back of my knee. So I started screaming at her. I was like, you stop effing doing that. You need to stop effing doing that, or I'm going to call the security. We're right up the front. The security. I mean, security's right there. I will call. So what ended up happening was, I'm not very proud of this, but my brother can vouch for me. No offense to Green Day, but sometimes they attract a group of fans that don't really know what it's like to be in a pit. So I was so angry. I waited for, what song was it? 21st Century Breakdown. There's a part in one of their songs. Yeah. So there's a part in one of their songs, and I waited for it. It's called 21st Century Breakdown to pick up, and I started a mini. It's kind of embarrassing at a Green Day concert, but I started a little mini circle pit in there just to push her the F away from me. And she got
that's fair.
She got it. Yeah, I was like, you want to be here? Okay, there you are. And she got extremely angry and said she was going to tell her husband what I did. So you're going to tell your husband I was in a pit and acting how people normally do. And okay, we can do that. It kind of faded away after that, but that's my story of an asshole at a concert. Yeah. So, yep, that was fun. But anyway, did you go to? Let me see. We have a mutual friend that play as you kind of smartened me up to. Friend Dan. A drummer, right? And you played a show at the church, right? Tell us about that.
Yeah,
a reunion show. What was that all about?
It was a reunion show. I think Bad Luck 13 was the headliner. I'm not real familiar with the hardcore bands. Kind of what you were saying earlier, like when all our mutual friends all got into hardcore, I kind of went the ska route. Like, there was a fork in the road, and I was like,
went the other direction.
Happy punk, and they wanted like stuff. So, but so I'm not real familiar with the stuff. I'm not even really familiar with Dan's band, even though Dan's one of my best friends. Right. But I love watching him drum. I just love it. I like Fanboy Out when Dan's playing drums, and Punishment was his band.
Punishment, right. He sent me some info on that, and I could just tell he had the time of his life. Doing that again.
Yeah, I was proud of him, proud to see him out there. So he did a good job. He's one of my favorite drummers, not just because he's my friend, but like all the bands I listen to, I just love his drumming style. I love watching him and listening to him play. So.
How long has that carpet been in the church? That preschool carpet. I think the first time I saw it, I was like, damn, I think they vacuum it. Maybe not. Maybe it's got hair and dirt from 1998 still in it. I don't know. I'm not sure. The church is cool though. And what made me bring up the church is because we were just talking about Green Day. I saw Billy Joe down there about 4 years ago, do a small show. But we'll get back to music in a little bit, man. But I want you to talk about, Josh did something really cool a few years ago. He started this company, or we should call it passion project. I don't like calling it a company. It's Rosebear Arts. Tell us a little bit about Rosebear Arts, how this even came about. And if you look, you can't really see. Fucking glare. But we got there's a couple Rose. There's a punk rock Kermit there. There's you got several. There's a shitload of Rosebear Arts stickers over there, now available online and at South Street Arm. All right, tell us about Rosebear Arts, Josh.
So my wife actually bought me a gift one year, because I used to do art 20, 30 years ago, whatever, and I just really haven't done it. Life gets busy, you get a shitty job, and you just work and sleep. Mm-hmm. So Rochelle got me this gift. It was like a monthly subscription of an art box. Like every month I would get different art materials, and it just got me drawn again, and I just
back into it. Yeah.
And me and Rochelle have always talked about, I've always had a passion to start a business. Like owning a business is in my blood. It's always been a passion of mine. I just never pulled the trigger. I had a million ideas, but there always a lot of capital to start. And it just kind of naturally happened. I was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to try to start selling some of this stuff I'm making. And then it just kind of happened. You know what I mean? So,
right.
And Rosebear Arts, my daughter's nicknames are Rosie and Bear. So that's where the name is from.
Right.
But
right.
Yeah, it is a passion project, but at the same time, I love business. I'm building something that, it's been over 5 years now. I'm building a different life and career for myself, basically. And I was miserable at work. I thought about quitting. I thought about going to college. I hate school. I hate college. I can't sit at a desk and I just draw. So me kind of building my business, like grassroots, and just that, it was my college. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just
absolutely.
And I'm going to create, I'm going to fail, I'll succeed, I'll create, I'll fail, I'll succeed, and then learn. And then that's just kind of been it. And kind of early in the process, going to different art shows and punk rock flea markets, different things like that.
Right.
Very early on, I kind of realized what my purpose was. And that I was like, you know what? And I'm not throwing shade at any of those events. A lot of people do great events. I have friends that run events like that. They do a great job.
Yeah.
But I just want to do it better, so. And I had a lot of
super talented. Some of that shit. You put it on T-shirts, absolutely, and stickers and all that stuff. Now you got to have all that stuff at JAWNAROO. People can pick up and then check out, right? I'm sure, right?
I should, but
it's going to be tough though, because who's going to be doing you got to get somebody to do the table, because you're going to be bouncing around all day.
My wife is going to be running my table, which is very good, because she's much better than me. Mm-hmm. She, when we do an event now, if I step away to go get a drink or something, I come back, there'll be 20 people in line. So So that's good. She'll be running my tent. But that being said, I hope I can do a good job for putting my own art on display, because it's kind of the last thing on my list. You know, like I have a responsibility to build this event for everyone else. Like me selling my art, yeah, I want to do it, but
Yeah.
I have a lot of things to do before that. So, I mean, I'll definitely have stuff there. You know, like ideally, perfect situation, I'd unveil like 10 new designs there or something. Like maybe I'll have 2.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it's a lot of work. You're gonna be it's gonna that day is gonna go by so fast. So
it's gonna be
yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
And I got to design and make all the merch for JAWNAROO too. I'm gonna be running 2 tents.
Wow.
The JAWNAROO tent and Rosebear Arts tent.
And what are the hours for it on 21st?
Right now we're pretty firm on this. 11 o'clock start.
Okay.
It's going to be over at 9 p.m.
Right.
So it's a long day.
Right.
And I this isn't written in stone, but it's pretty safe to say the bands are going to start at like 2.
Okay.
It'll be
cool.
a couple hours for shopping. We're going to have food trucks. We are going to have beer. Having beer there is a big win for us. I haven't officially announced it yet because I'm waiting for the paperwork from the state. Everything should be good.
Right.
And
that's a big thing. I didn't want to bring it up, but that's
that's okay. I'm not gonna like advertise it yet who it is, but we got a great probably just one brewery coming, but it's a good one.
Nice.
And I'm very excited about it. I can't wait to announce it. That's gonna do great for the event. So.
And food trucks for pigs like me who want to eat shove food in my face and stuff like that.
Yes. And we only have 4 food vendors, so if anyone out there has a food truck and want to come out, it is going to be a great opportunity. We're going to have a lot of people out there, so check out the website www.jawnaroo.com.
Absolutely. When do you think you're going to figure out how would you? I guess when it gets closer, like the actual set times of the bands and who goes where. That's all your call, right? Since it's your fest, they have to kind of figure out the
and it's
a lot of times, you know.
And it's hard to.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's hard because this is all a learning process. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not pretending to know what I'm doing, but
right.
But I came into this thing just ready to kind of tackle everything, and I've learned so much with booking the bands. We were hoping to be done by December. Here we are. It's March 1st, and we just announced our last band. Was that yesterday?
Yeah,
so
right.
It took a long time, but it's a little complicated with the building the lineup too in the order. I'll figure it out. There's some troubleshooting to do, but I'll get it done. I get everything done. So
yeah, I think it'll work out in the end, and this is going to be a tradition that's going to stand for years and years and years and years. Maybe it'll outlive us, and your kids can take over one day.
Hey, that would be the dream, right? So, I'm kind of thinking of it like a future Warped Tour.
Yeah, but I remember you telling me that. Yeah,
but instead of like skateboarding, it's art. You know,
right? Yeah. I think it'll do fine. I think I think, first year's tough because it's, you're just trying to get word of mouth. But once you get May out of the way, I think it's just going to keep growing and growing and growing, and it's going to be excellent. I mean, what else like that what else is similar in South Jersey right now? There's nothing.
And what's been so cool, like, I talk this thing up in my own head and motivate myself, and my partners motivate me. I haven't mentioned them yet. Christina and Christian, they're awesome.
Right.
I couldn't have dreamed of doing this without them.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, you get this plan and this idea and you're going through it. But every once in a while you get doubt, like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
But then, like, I'll have like a stranger reach out to me like, yo, this is exactly what I needed. Like, this is what our area needs. Thank you for doing this. And it's like, I don't know this person, but I'm not crazy. They get it. If they get it, other people get it.
Yeah. And it is, you're taking a chance, but it's like the old thing people say, you can't achieve success without the risk of failure. There has to be some element of what the fuck am I doing? or
Yeah.
there has to be that element. So it's
Yeah.
perfectly normal for you to think that, and it's perfectly
Yeah.
normal for that thought to get in the back of your head, like,
Yeah.
and
Well, I don't know if this is normal, but I started off at failure in my mindset.
yeah.
I painted the picture of the event
Mhm.
and it failing, and me just being okay with that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And then just going full speed ahead. And I'm pretty confident it's not going to fail now. I think we've done a lot of things right. We fixed a lot of things we did wrong, and we've learned a lot, and we've had some good luck and good people help us. So it's going to be a success. But in the beginning, I was like, you know what? I want to do it. If it fails, it won't fail year two. That was
Yeah.
kind of my mind.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's I'm really looking forward to it. I know my brother Justin is going to it as well as some other people that I know. So we are looking forward to it. A lot of people are, and it's going to be big. It's going to be big.
And an interesting story, like how it started. Like I kind of knew I wanted to do this vision, and right before COVID happened, I had planned my first event,
right?
Which this way makes more sense. I was going to start small and build the thing each year.
Okay.
So I had an event planned. I had a venue. I had 14 artists. It was juried, so I had people apply. I think I had like 30 people apply. We picked out the top 14. They paid me. Everything was going good, and then boom, COVID. Like COVID shut everything down.
Yeah.
Gave everybody their money back, and then just like waited for like a year and a half. And then, I'm just making art and shit. And then, I was always in the back of my mind, like, oh, I got to do a festival or some art show or something. And I just started really thinking about it. And I was like, we can cuss on here, right? Can I cuss?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just like, fuck it. Like,
yeah.
Fuck starting small. I'm doing this shit. And I called Christina, who she was helping me with the small one. She was already on board. She helped me with the small one with 14. And I said, look, you're under no obligation to help me. I'm giving you an out. I understand if you say no. I'm going all in. I'm doing this thing. I'm renting the 4-H fairgrounds. It's going to be a big festival. I'm not building it small. I'm going all in. Yeah. And I want you to go with me. But if you don't, that would make sense. Like I was fine with her saying no. And
hey, either way, you're cool with it. Yeah.
She said, nope, I'm in. And I said, yeah, all right, cool. And then I had a list of like 4 other people I wanted to ask. And I asked a couple, they weren't really interested. And I asked Christian, who is one of my best friends forever, and he lives down in North Carolina. He runs a couple businesses. He's like one of the busiest guys I know. And I just thought I knew he'd be perfect for it, but I didn't. Right. I almost been asking because I know how busy he was. But I figured,
and he lives down there. So how often does he come back? He's probably got family. He doesn't at all, just for how family or some.
Yeah, he comes up for like once or twice a year, but he's usually doing family stuff. Sometimes
holidays or something. Yeah, right.
Yeah. But he'll be up the whole week for JAWNAROO. We have meetings on Zoom like every week. But I can't believe he said yes. Like he's so busy. I actually had to like schedule a meeting with him, a phone call. Like weeks in advance just to get him on the phone. Most friends you can just call. I had to like schedule a meeting. So, but then, we talked for like an hour and a half, and I don't even think
that's awesome.
Sorry, I thought I lost my screen.
It froze up for a second, but that's all right. We're all good. Let me just make sure it didn't cut off on the mic. Yeah, we're still good.
And that I guess almost every event I've done, I've involved charity in some way, shape, or form. You saw I did that sticker show for Don't Bully This Dog.
Absolutely. And I remember you. I'll let you talk about it, but you have a charity that is involved with JAWNAROO. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, Cathedral Kitchen. They're a food bank in Camden. They do all kinds of stuff, teaching people like skills for working in restaurants and stuff, and helping people out with food that need it. So they're coming out, and we're going to do a couple things. I'm going to be auctioning off a couple of my paintings for them. We're going to give all the money to them. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'll figure it out. Probably like raffle, like buy a ticket for $1 or something.
Yeah.
And something simple because it's going to be a busy day.
Yeah.
And we may have some other charities out too. We kind of got some things in the works, but that one's definite. So
Yeah, and all that stuff, I'm going to link the shit out of everything from JAWNAROO, Rosebear Arts, Cathedral Kitchen. Everything should be in the description. So check down below when you're watching this. And if you're listening to it, then still go to my YouTube channel and click the links because they'll all be there, all the information. So we're talking a lot about JAWNAROO. JAWNAROO is going to be awesome. First of all, how did you come up with the name of JAWNAROO?
That was it didn't take that long. It only took like a week for us to come up with the name. But after like one of our first meetings, we got a lot of things started to get organized. Like we need a name.
The first draft was Joshapalooza, right, or something.
we had some different ideas, but that was an example. Lollapalooza was an example. Like you know, we wrote all the festivals,
right.
And I had some different ideas. One idea I kind of liked, but it was very punk rock. Yeah. Like, well, I want this to be open to like different types of artists and stuff. So
right, more broad, yeah.
Yeah, but I think it was Christian that said like it needs to be something that's nothing. Like, and he said Lollapalooza, Bonnaroo, all these things, like they're nothing. Like they just have an original name, and we all three of us were on board with that. We all like that. Then we just started talking. I think it was all through text, actually. We just texted in the group text, and once John came into my head, I was like, JAWNAPalooza, Art John, John, and it's perfect for our area. And I know so many like artists in this area that do John stuff, and it's very great in all the toy stores. And it's just, I know some people from Philly don't like the name because we're from Jersey, but oh well, get over it.
Right.
It's a word. Like,
come on now. Yeah, no, seriously, grow the hell up.
Yeah, like that's funny though. One dude was like, Jersey's taking our word, and some other dude on Facebook was like, you took the word from Florida. And I'm like, what's happening? Did it come from Florida?
Oh God, Facebook. What did we do before? I don't know. It's such a good thing that social media has brought people together, and you can promote things like creative endeavors like this, and I can do things like this with the internet and live stream and broadcast DIY style, and you can talk to people across the country and bands and everything. And then there's the 60-year-olds that argue about politics all day, and the people who just want to complain about words and just like, you really want to complain about the word John? Come on now. Come on. Grow up.
Well, I think me and you are friends on like every social media platform.
Yeah.
And have you ever seen me say anything negative on social media?
No,
like,
no.
I hate that.
Yeah, and that's a rarity. And I haven't think about it. At least, once in a while, everybody says something. You've been staying positive. I've never heard you shit on anybody or anything.
And I've typed things and deleted things.
I do that all the time.
I make a conscious effort to be a positive force. And I'm not always, everything's not perfect in my world either. Shit happens. I get depressed and frustrated and angry just like everybody. But I found like I have like had like a lot of negative people in my life, and like when you're negative, you drag other people down.
Yeah, nobody wants to hear it. I should take my own advice sometimes, because I let myself sometimes vent.
It's normal, but I just try to be a positive force for people, especially when social media is so saturated with just the negative.
Oh
like
God,
I don't. It can be difficult,
Yeah, it's never been this bad. Even when you, and I'm not going to get into this, but I never forget, it must have been 2 years ago, and you went into and it wasn't negative. It was just well thought out. The way you wrote it.
Buddy.
Oh. Wait a minute. Froze up. See if we get it back. See if we get it back.
I got you now.
All right, better now?
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes it freezes. It used to do that a lot during the pandemic. It would always freeze up during Zoom or Skype. It would do it during shit.
I think my face is turning pink because I'm drinking tequila. Sorry.
I got ship bottom ship bottom
Oh, okay.
mermaid blonde ale. So cheers.
Cheers.
There we go. What was I saying? Okay, so you I'll give you a perfect example. You weren't negative at all when you did this. This was a couple years ago. And again, I don't want to talk politics, but like it was something related to the president before the one we have now. And you just, the way you wrote it was like so just intelligent and well thought out, and like you explained why your faith and your political and how things contradict, and like you laid it out instead of doing what I sometimes do and just like flying off the handle and just say F this guy, F this guy, F this pig. But you you stay positive, and that's admirable in a world that's negative. You know what I mean?
In the rare occasion that I do put out something political or controversial,
yeah,
I like to, let's be honest, we already know what the argument's going to be coming back to it.
And you're not going to change anybody's mind. Yeah.
And I'm not going to change anyone's mind, and right. I'm not going. So I kind of like to answer their rebuttal in that. You know what I mean? Like, I feel this, and this is why, and this is why it's not going to change. Right. Have your views, enjoy them, but that's it. You know, and I mean, I lost some followers and stuff, but I don't care.
Well, there's something. No, it's you know, you stated your mind in the way you should. There's something that somebody taught me a long time ago, few years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. Matter of fact, a guest on the show, called confirmation bias. It's when you get an idea in your head, you'll do anything you can to defend it, even if the other person is making a point, or if that idea in your head becomes shitty, or that person that you love becomes shit. You'll constantly defend it. So you know, it's people's minds are set. They're very set in their ways. It's like I tell my brother sometimes, it's like a sports team mentality. It's like, this is my team. This is no matter what, even if my team sucks, even if my team is a piece of shit, I'm on this team and I'm going to defend my. It's like, what is this, high school still? So, you know, just so my point of it is you're never going to convince anybody otherwise. So what's the point? So you just express it in a nice way.
And also, to not to go too deep into this, but you can teach people things, and you can also learn things. If I kind of go things as an understanding in any situation, that I might be wrong. I've been wrong. Before.
Right.
So I will listen to what anyone has to say about anything.
And that's key. You have to be, even if you have your opinion made up, you still have to have your ears open and be open-minded, because
and even if what they're saying is complete shit, a lot of time. Just that I've listened to them, and heard them out, then they may give me a chance to speak, and then maybe maybe I didn't learn something, but then maybe they did, because I used patience in explaining it. So I've had some success with it, and I've learned some things. So anyway,
I wish there was a grand total of how many people, friendships, family members, cousins, aunts, uncles, employees, coworkers, friendships have been lost because of Facebook arguments. Arguments, like really, like it would fascinate me if there was some way to tell. Like maybe like during the census, like we can fill that shit out. Like, have you lost any friends due to political arguments on Facebook, or the be really interesting, because I remember the day, I don't know when you got on social media, but I've been on since like a long time, and it's been I mean, it went from college kids to people in their 80s, so it's very good, and it's also very shitty at the same time. So but it is what it is.
I used to have a philosophy where I practiced, where if said friend would say something on Facebook that I really had a disagreement with, well, I still won't type anything. I'm not arguing with you on Facebook. I'm just not doing it. But if I really took issue with it, I would call them or go to them. I'm like, yo, listen, I want to ask you you said this, but did you know this? And have a man-to-man conversation. I've done that.
Yeah.
But it usually doesn't go over well.
It still doesn't work. It's worth a shot, though.
I had a work friend who did that once, and it was just like he painted himself as like a Christian and all this crap, but then he'd be like, if you didn't vote for Trump, you're a piece of shit. You should go to hell. Like completely off the wall. And I called him up. I'm like, listen, if you want to make a point, that's not how you know, like anyway, I won't go into it, but we had a talk and he's like, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I got upset. And what's he doing the next day?
Yeah.
The same shit. And I was like, please delete, goodbye. Have a nice life. Like
yeah. What are you going to do? Sometimes you have to use common sense. And, you know, I never forget. I was laying on I must have been 7 or 8 years old. I'm going to say 7 years old because I probably was being babysat. I was a little bit too old with my younger brothers to watch them because I have 2 younger brothers. I was laying on the carpet at my grandmother's house, like probably a Friday night or a Saturday night, and Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous came on. And I guess it was probably maybe, oh God, I don't even know what channel that used to come on. We never had cable. We lived on a farm. We didn't have cable till like 1994. So, or 93, late 93, I think. So we're watching Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. And that was the first time I saw, and I'm not going to get into a whole thing. I just want to make a quick statement to everybody watching at home. 7 years old. First time I saw Robin Leach introduce me to a man called Donald J. Trump, and he was a guest on it. And Ryan, at age 7, was watching this show. And I'm like, this guy seems like an asshole. Doesn't seem like a good person. At age 7, on the carpet of my grandmother's old house. I'll just leave it at that. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to. That's all I'm going to say. So for anybody who says I'm not a good person because I don't support him or I don't, I just think that's. But what we're going to go, it's just going to cycle out. It's going to happen again because 2024 is around the corner. But we're not talking about 2024 and elections and all that. We're talking about JAWNAROO. We're talking about Rosebear Arts. We're talking about punk rock. We're talking about memories of Delsey. We're talking about Art Cox. Remember our art teacher in Delsey, Mr. Cox? Remember that guy?
Mr. Arthur J. Cox.
Legendary. I love that guy. Love that guy. I had him in high school for. Did he teach 2 class? What did he? I don't even remember what did we do? We had like a painting class or an art class or something. Like
I had every art class. I had art 1, art 2, painting 1, painting 2, ceramics 1, ceramics 2, graphics 1, graphics 2. Mm-hmm. He didn't do the graphics, but I had him like 8 classes or something. I had him a lot. So
I feel like
I tortured him for about half of his classes because I was a dickhead. But
I feel like that we have a few people from Delsey watching this. Who is your favorite was your favorite substitute from Delsey? You remember any substitutes?
Oh boy, favorite
or teacher that stands out in your mind. And by favorite, I mean just one that stands out in your mind as just a memorable character, not so much like a great.
Well, educator. I mean, Arthur Cox was about one of the best.
He was great. He was great. I believe my mom had him too when she went to Delsey.
He was actually a really, really good guy and a good, very. I don't think he was in the right spot for high school kids. He should have been teaching like college classes. Like he had a lot of knowledge and experience and would be more helpful to people actually that wanted to learn
right.
That wanted to fuck off class. But anyway, he was good. Joe Morari. I love Joe Morari, the bending teacher.
Right.
I see him every once in a while now. He's taught me a lot of like real life skills. Like the shit they don't teach you in school that they should. Like he taught you. Like he got up in class and wrote CYA on the board. Like cover your ass. Like not get fired at work. Like like real shit. But
did you ever have Jim Rafferty for sociology? Rafferty.
No, I think I might have had him.
He was one like that. He was like that, where he taught you a lot about life before he even taught you anything that he had to teach you. So that was always a good Shout out to Mr. Rafferty. I'm sure people remember him. He's still living, but yeah, a lot
I,
of good.
I, I wasn't very good at school. I didn't go to class a lot. I barely like kind of just drew on my notebook and got out of class as quick as I could. And
Mhm.
I would do the math, like how many times can I be late to class before I get a detention? So like, everything was to avoid class or work. So I didn't have a
Right.
whole lot. I mean, teachers didn't hate me, but I didn't have a whole lot of close relationships with teachers. Probably just Mr. Murari,
Yeah.
Mr. Cox. I had a lot of teachers I liked. I didn't
Yeah.
hate everyone. I don't know. School wasn't my thing. I just wanted
Well,
to
I mean,
go home.
I'm in the same boat. I mean, it started for me earlier though. Like it started for me in middle school. I had really bad social anxiety to the point of me getting nauseous, fucking on a bus ride to. You all right, Molly? You all right? All right. But it was really bad. And what got me through was music, comedy, and you know, uh, stuff like that. I didn't really. It's kind of in the same boat. I didn't care for it either, but I found humor in a lot of things, and I think that's what kind of pulled
Yeah.
me through out of it.
Hmm.
Um,
I
just was
hope I
able
was
was
good.
able to laugh at a lot of stuff. So,
I hope I was good to you in school because I
oh, you
wasn't
were.
good at
I didn't. So when you brought up earlier that you acted like an ass sometimes, I never saw that once. I
Oh,
never even got that vibe from. I don't think
I
anybody around me
I
did. I mean,
I
I got
think
that from some people in that
yeah,
in
I
that
but it
circle, but not.
I was never a bully or anything like that.
No.
I just thought I was funny. And
Yeah.
our circle of friends, like we would make fun of people, but we were punks. Like we wouldn't do it to their face, like
Yeah.
But in hindsight, I just remember making fun of everyone, and I feel like I was a little shit. Like someone should have kicked my ass, but I don't know. I probably just said things behind people's back. I don't know, but now,
What?
like when I see people from high school, I'm nervous. I'm like, oh, I hope I was nice to them.
Yeah. So we Josh and I kind of reconnected. God, I think a few years ago. And this was before Rosebear Arts, going to shows and things like that. Has there been any shows in the past few years that really stood out in your mind as like one of the best? In recent days, not in the old. That just did you ever have any shows that just stood out in your mind as like really killer and kick ass in the past few years that you want to talk about?
Yeah, I feel like the past like year I've had so many times where I just leaving the venue thinking
Mhm.
that was one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Post
But
post pandemic, you mean, or
yeah, I
yeah?
think maybe I appreciate them a little more now.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
I the first one that comes to my mind is the Cat Bite record release show.
Yeah, we went to that. Yep. Mhm.
That was really good. And it wasn't just them. They were awesome. Best of the Worst kind of blew my fucking mind. They were so good live. Froggy was good. It was just a great show. I love that.
And that right there, Cat Bite is full circle because you introduced me to Cat Bite. I wouldn't have any idea
Okay.
if they
Okay.
were even there. You just dropped them. I think dropped their name one day, and if you like ska punk, you're gonna dig them. It doesn't matter if you're from Philly or
Yeah.
not. So they're gonna be. I'm just waiting for the I'm waiting for the Interrupters Cat Bite tour to happen. That's bound to
Yeah,
happen soon.
right. And 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 they're just good. They're just really fucking good. Like even if you're not like into the punk or ska scene, it's just
Mhm.
good music. Like
Yeah.
they're some of their stuff is like good pop songs. Like it's catchy as shit,
Right.
like and
Right.
just like earworms, and just they're good. They got a lot of talent. And I think what kind of like as I'm building I know it's different, but as I'm building my art business,
Yeah.
I've had so many experiences in the past 5 years just dealing with people and people's attitudes and
Mhm.
people, just the way people treat you. Caplight has it. Like they on social media, they respond to all their fans. They appreciate everyone. They're nice. They're kind.
Yeah.
And I'm all about the kindness and niceness shit. That's I think they're not only are they an awesome
Mhm.
band, but their minds are right. I
Yeah,
think their minds
absolutely.
are right. they can go as far as they want because they're good people. So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know them like I've met them, but I mean, we're not like best friends or anything. But they're cool people. I've talked to them, and they're just down to earth, cool people that are willing to talk to any of their fans, and that's kind of what you need, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Brittany is a good person. She seems that way,
Cool.
and everybody else in the band too. I know her. I think her. Let's see, was the bassist she dates her boyfriend? I think it's the bassist or something, or
Her husband is the guitar player.
guitar player. Yeah, right. So
And
yeah,
I mean, obviously they're local. I did try to get them for JAWNAROO. That was like one of my top bands, but
right.
it was just scheduling conflicts. I really hope to have them for a year or two. But like Tim is the guitarist. He kind of runs the business side of things. He's just cool as shit. Like even after we talked back and forth, and like I couldn't get him to play.
Yeah.
He like offered to help me if you have any questions or anything. Like just reach out. And that's cool. Like he don't know me that well. Like he don't have to do that. But that's like I have a handful of people that I've met in the business world that have my mentality, and they're one of them. You know, just like help each other. Like we can all win it. We can all win it. You know.
Yeah,
So
that attitude should be across the board. You know, it's unfortunate that not everybody has it, but you know, it's weird. Like you said, it was tough to book. I mean, this past week, I feel like everybody's booking shows. I mean, the timing of it. A lot of people are booking tours now, and now that I mean, I don't know about. I don't follow it as close as some people do, but I think COVID, you know, it's kind of letting up now. COVID. I think we're on the right side, you know, right swing of it. I mean, it's once spring hits and then summer, I think we're going to be back to, I hate using the word normal, but at least it'll somewhat feel normal, like, you know, kind of like how it did last summer, but
yeah,
but I think so. So we should be good with that.
Well, that was another thing I faced with building the festival. I mean, it's a perfect day. It's Saturday before Memorial Day weekend. It's springtime. I've done enough of these events to know that springtime, forget COVID. In the spring, people are tired of being in their house. When that weather breaks and there's outdoor events and stuff, man, people come out, you know. And
absolutely, yeah.
That's why I picked the date. And some people are like, "Oh, what about COVID? Aren't you worried about COVID?"
It's COVID, outside, yeah.
COVID's like the weather. I can't control that. So those things, if I can't control them, it's either you do it or you don't do it. Like you can't be afraid of the unknown, because the unknown shit's gonna happen. So
no, I think it'll be fine. And you know, you can't control things that are out of your hands, but I really think we're on the upswing at that, and I think it's on the way out. Hopefully, fingers crossed. What if we get like, you know, what if you get a few people at JAWNAROO who you know, how do I put this? Are a little, you never know. You could get some local people who act like, you know, want to shout things, the bands, and then they just get angry and raucous. Are you hiring any security to kick these people's asses, or do you want me to do it?
Yes and yes.
All right.
No, we will be hiring security.
Okay, so you're doing that. Okay, cool.
But also, I mean, yeah, I got partners, but this is my event. I take this shit personal. If somebody's gonna start some trouble, I'll drag.
Nice.
I don't believe in violence until I do.
until the person is messing up your DIY event that you planned a year in advance.
Yeah, you can, if you go on the website, and this was on purpose. That's a year ago almost. If you go on the JAWNAROO website and read, it's in there somewhere. If you start reading and digging into it, it says, "I'm not about any hate. I'm inclusive of everyone. If you want to be there, I want you to be there. As long as you're treating people good. I don't care what political affiliation, what sex, what race, what gender. I'm all about everybody." So, and it's in the description that if you have any, like, to any artist, like if you're selling anything that's hateful or anything harassing anybody anything like that, you're gone. So I reserve the right to physically remove you and your stuff if I have to. And it is what it is. I'm building this festival. It's not for me. It's for everybody, except those people. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I just hope there's not too many drunk guys screaming "Free Bird" when there's
yeah,
a
well,
take today is playing.
well, they can yell "Free Bird." That's fine, but if they're,
Angrily yelling "Free Bird" while
it,
throwing a
it's
Corona bottle at the stage. I don't
it's
hope that doesn't happen.
no. It's not going to be a Dropkick Murphy rancid show.
All right, good.
Don't you worry.
That's what I was worried about, Josh.
I will shut that thing down. So don't
Good.
you worry.
Good.
I might go to jail, but that won't happen. I'm fine with it.
So we got to, there's crap load of vendors that are signed up. It's going to be awesome. Now, speaking of, you're talking about merch and stuff. One of my favorite spots, and I wanted to make sure before we wrapped up today that I shouted them out. Your stuff is available at a shop, and I got some stickers back there from them too, on South Street, actually off of South Street Art Mart. How'd you get hooked up with Nicole and Nicole to sell your stuff there through them?
It was a cool story. I mean, social media is really the root of everything with my business. It's one of the reasons why I had the confidence to do the art business.
Yeah.
And just being a new artist, I follow so many accounts, and I just discovered them on there. And then
right.
I think I had another reason to go into the city too. And I was like, hey, I just go up there one day, and I went in and I talked to the one Nicole on, just said, hey, I'm an artist. I gave her some stickers, and back then it was my the Minor Threat logo, or where there's steps, but it was the 4 mascots.
Right. Yeah.
And she was like, kind of take.
Oh, we got frozen.
Oh, you got to see this, and then I had myself. Yeah, they're great people. They've been great to me. So it's cool having my stuff there. I'm proud to be with like so many other cool artists. I'm a fan of a lot of artists in there. And I'm also so they're on 4th Street, right off South.
Right.
And then I got stuff in Nice Things Handmade in South Philly on Paseo.
Okay. I didn't know that. Okay.
And then I got things in at Chomsky's Cafe in Winona.
Right.
I got
right.
prints and stickers there. I got some stickers in the what's the name? Collector's Corner, I think it's called. My buddy sells stuff there.
Nice.
I forget what town that's in. Blackwood, maybe. I've never been there, but it looks cool.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna be in a place in the Cherry Hill Mall soon. I'm just so busy, but I will get there. I got to get in more stores. I got stores that want my stuff. I'm just busy.
Yeah, no, I hear you, especially now.
Yeah.
There's this place in Smithville. I think it's called Underground Shop or something. They sell a lot of that. They kind of sell a lot of that stuff style. So maybe down the line you can hook up with them too. That's a pretty cool store. I've been there a few times, and a lot of stickers, patches, hats, like indie clothes and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
But really good spot there. But yeah, no, it's amazing, man. You've done really from the ground up, whether it be Rosebear Arts or JAWNAROO or whatever creative venture you do. It's and that's really it's I don't want to say it's rare, but honestly, it is rare for people our age to start something like you have. And I'm not saying we're old, senior citizens at this point, but you've got a family, and they're clearly supportive of you, and it's awesome. And I think that's how it should be. They should be supportive of your ventures, and that seems to be that way. And your wife is super cool about it. And every time we go out to a show and I see her and talk to her, she's always supportive of your stuff and everything. And that's a big thing. It definitely is going to when you surround yourself with people like that, and not only family but friends, I think that's just going to make you even more motivated to just keep going. You know what I mean? So I think
and full disclosure, she gets extra points because like she doesn't get it. You know, it's not like she's like,
oh, you mean
awesome.
you mean like she doesn't get the point of creating shit or going the shit like music wise? What do you mean?
I mean like the business stuff. Like,
oh, okay.
She might tell you different, but she'd be probably happy if I just, because it's a lot. It consumes my life sometimes. Probably be happy.
Right.
If I just quit.
Right.
You know, if I fuck all this art shit, like she'd be happy as anything. And I love her and she's amazing. But she's my best friend and my partner, so she's there for me, you know, and that's what matters.
Absolutely.
And and really the only thing she does as far as the business, like I'd love her to do my bookkeeping and all because she'd be good at it, but she's got her job is keeps her busy, and she's kind of like, she knows if she got involved, she'd be like all in, that she's an all in type of person. So she doesn't get involved in the business too much. The only thing she does is helps me sell at events. You know, she doesn't mind doing that, and she's great to have there. So she always does a good. By the time I get there, just setting up for an event is so exhausting.
Yeah.
Like most things, I'm like, I'm 80% done, and I'm like, yeah, it's fine. People want the shit, they'll buy it. And she's like, and she'll keep rearranging stuff and make it look nice. I'm like, oh, cool, thanks. You made it better.
I hear you, man. Are you a coffee drinker, Josh?
I try to just have 2 cups a day, but yes, I am.
Yeah. Okay, good. Because it's, I don't know how I could survive. Well, I can't barely survive doing what I'm doing now, but for you to go through everything, I would need to have an IV of a steady IV of caffeine into my veins to keep awake.
Well, I got some ADD pretty good, and caffeine really kind of puts me to sleep. Yeah, like it doesn't really help me like that. But I do get migraines. It helps. If I don't have 2 cups a day, I'll get a migraine.
Right. So, oh yeah, same way. Yeah, I'm addicted to it.
It's kind of medicinal for me.
Well, brother, I think we're coming up on an hour and a half. I know it's probably gonna be a little less because we had a little hiccup in the middle, but that wasn't that long. It was only a couple minutes, I think. And plus, I might cut out the part when I talked about that kid at Delsey. He might come in and murder me tonight. So, and if you guys are hearing this right now and don't know what I'm talking about, it's probably good. That means that I did cut it out. So I'll probably But if you did, then you know who I'm talking about. Anyway,
can I plug like two quick things real quick?
Dude, I want you to plug all the shit you want. Go ahead.
All right. I could probably plug 20 projects, but I'll just do like the 2 on top of my head. This Saturday, which is March 5th or March 3rd?
March 5th is Saturday, yeah.
So in Mullica Hill, right down the road from where JAWNAROO is, a friend of mine and sponsor from JAWNAROO is Madam. It's a store, Madam Chili Peppers. They're going to be a sponsor for JAWNAROO, and I'm going to be there at their place Saturday. They're going to have Cape May Brewery and some food trucks out there, and it's a Mardi Gras thing. So I'm going to be there selling, talking JAWNAROO, and just hanging out. So come have a beer.
Nice.
And then the other thing I just want to plug, really my kind of passion project is my comic strip, my Tim Reaper comic strip. So Tim Reaper is the son of the Grim Reaper. He's dumped in Philadelphia to kind of train as a Grim Reaper. Right. And I use photographs of Philadelphia, and I illustrate over the photographs, and you can read that for free as I make it, which is the worst way to make a comic because you can't change it. Once I put it into the comic, it's there. But it's pretty cool. I have a lot of fun with it. You can read it on Instagram for free. It's at Tim Reaper, a Philly Tale. And kind of everything that I do as an artist and a business person will be encompassed in that story. Right. So
nice.
Kind of
has like has a meaning to it. It's not just for shits and giggles. Yeah.
And it did just start out as something just stupid and goofy. So you'll see, like in the beginning, it is more stupid and goofy, like the first couple chapters. But pretty soon some people are starting to figure out some things, like he's a graffiti artist, kind of by accident. And he's tags, and like I've had people like, wait, so are these tags really in Philly? Like little Easter eggs? I'm like, yep. And they're like, that's awesome. So like it's like reality and the comic are going to collide several times.
Nice.
And it's pretty cool. And the fan favorite in there is Bernadette, my possum. Bernadette's like a psychopathic possum, and she's kind of going to be the subject of a lot of my art because people like her and I like her. She's a crazy possum. So anyway, that's all. Check it out if you want. You're better if anyone wants to buy my artwork, you're better off buying it in the stores because shipping kills me with Etsy and I have to charge too much. I don't want to, but it's kind of worthless to buy. I mean, if you really want something, buy something from my Etsy. I stick at least a free sticker in every order because I feel bad, but
yeah,
but go to the stores and buy stuff. Order it at the stores and come to JAWNAROO. So
definitely, absolutely. And man, brother, just keep doing what you're doing. I'm proud of you, man. Stay creative and keep, you know, it's only going to get better from here. There's only one place it can go, and that's up. So keep at it. And you know, whether it be Rosebear Arts, any of your, you know, the comic, whether it be genre, keep on keeping on because, you know, it's eventually going to be what you envisioned it to be. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And I appreciate your support through all these years. It does mean a lot and it does help. You know, you got a handful of strong supporters and you're one of them. And I appreciate it. So,
yeah, look at this right here. Look at this right here. Look at this thing right here. Look at this. Who made this? Who made this gimmick right here? What is this?
Oh, there you go.
Look at that thing right there. Look at that. Look at that, guys.
Fine.
That is made from Rosebear Arts right there. Look at that. I'll hang that up in a second. So that's my.
And one day I'll have you on my podcast once I start doing that again. So
yeah, absolutely. We'll shoot this shit again and talk some more about you know, becoming 41-year-old men.
Yeah, I want to ask you.
Let me, ask me whatever you want, of course, whenever I come up. But I want to ask you this one last thing, Josh, before we get out of here. I don't even know what it's supposed to feel like, but how old do you feel? I mean, you've got kids. I don't have kids. I just got pets. But like, how old do you legit feel? Like when you wake up, how old do you feel? Because I have kind of a weird answer to that. Because I got, my back is always killing me, but at the same time, my brain can fool my body sometimes. So
mentally, I'm much younger. Physically, I'm much older.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for the Velcro sounds earlier. I'm sure it sounded terrible, but I've had a leg brace on all day because
wow.
I busted my knee up in a snowboarding accident a couple weeks ago. But dude, yesterday I woke up at 4:30 in the morning because I must have been sleeping funny and my back hurts so bad. But and my knee hurts. So
this happens most nights.
At 5 in the morning.
This happens most nights to me, Josh. I'll get up and I'll feel like I'm an 80-year-old grandfather because I slept wrong, or my neck is kinked, or I slept on the wrong side, or something. It's just like these are the things we have to deal with, and it's the unique dichotomy of feeling still creative and young-minded, yet your body is saying, "Fuck off, nope." So that's just how it is. But yeah, so from one soon to be in a couple hours 41 year, are you 41 yet, Josh? You're 40.
I'm 41. I'll be 42 in August.
Holy shit. I remember when we were 13, 14. That went by fast. Holy shit, we're gonna be 80 soon. Anyway, from one 41-year-old to another, thanks so much for coming on the show today, Josh. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I'll be on anytime. And sorry if we went too long, but
no,
I had a good time.
This is good. This is good shit.
All right,
good shit. All right, man. I'll talk to you soon. All right. Everybody watching at home. Cheers.
See it.